this regular Newmarket School Board meeting on June 4th, starting a little bit earlier. What's happening at 6 o'clock. We will start at the police chief. Wow. Yes. That makes me special. All right. I've opened public comment. Any members of public brief comment of the 3 minutes on each item. I'm awesome.
I did. I received a very nice email from one of our middle school students regarding teacher retention. I replied to that person and which somewhat referenced the board, so I also forwarded to the superintendent and chair, as well as reply.
All right. We'll move on to celebrating our special guests this evening. We have thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have 3 retirees from Newmarket School District. So we have Ms. Linda Albright, Lori Carmichael, and Nancy Miller. And I'd like to invite Dr. Foreman up.
Thank you for accommodating our.
Yep. Okay. There you go.
Oh, maybe not. All right, we'll give it a shot. Good afternoon. This afternoon, we'd like to celebrate an extraordinary educator, colleague, mentor, and friend, Ms. Linda Albright. When Linda arrived in Newmarket in 2001, you could have imagined how much she would contribute to the school community over the next 25 years. During her time here, she's witnessed nearly every change possible in the education system. Many new superintendents, principals, teachers, evolving technology, and renovated building just for fun before we'll get another time. Through it all, Linda has remained a constant in our learning community. Gracious, optimistic, kind, and always wears a smile. As principal, I can say without hesitation that Linda has been a model educator and employee. She's been thoughtful, dependable, and self-centered in every aspect of her work, and her impact reaches far beyond the walls of her classroom. Many of our current staff members spent the unique experience of knowing Linda both as a colleague and as a teacher of their own children. Science teacher Allison Boudreau shared, I've had the privilege and honor to get to know Linda both as a colleague and a teacher of my own children. In both capacities, Linda has demonstrated passion, dedication, and integrity. As a colleague, she asks questions that push our thinking forward, pushes us out of our comfort box, and encourages us to be the best educators we can be. With her incredible patience and listening ear, she's always there to listen to our questions, concerns, and ideas. With my parent hat on, Linda creates a warm, welcoming environment for my children, one which they felt challenged and engaged. My son graduated from here 3 years ago, and Linda continues to follow up with him, sending him information of topics that she knows interesting. When asked about Linda, Mark Levitt shared, over the past 2 decades, I've worked with many of her predecessors in departments. I can say that Linda has consistently been a calming presence, not just in her department, but for the staff in general. Never quick to judge and ready to provide an unexpected insight, Linda has a knack for reigniting the student in the adult she works with. Her students, past and present, literally love her, not just for what she taught, but how she taught them. She's evident a natural-born educator, always striving to learn, share, regardless of the audience. She may be soft-spoken, but when she speaks, everyone listens. Linda's passion for learning and service has shaped countless experiences for students and colleagues alike. She helped bring innovative programs like Boston University City Lab here to Newmarket, which expanded opportunities for many of our students. She served on the teacher negotiating team, helping shape the contract that we all benefit from today. She's created Mule's mission, which provides food and personal care items for students in need. She's embraced professional learning opportunities across the country, from brain-based education conferences in San Diego to biotechnology coursework at Penn State, and brought them all back here for the benefit of our students and staff. Thank you very much to Janice for sharing that information with us. And there are things that make Linda uniquely a love of plants, animals, and all living things. Whether caring for her classroom creatures, stopping the car to avoid animals crossing the road, supporting wildlife sanctuaries, or faithfully caring for Elijah the shrink for decades. Linda's compassion extends to every living thing she encounters. Perhaps what stands out the most is Linda's selflessness. As a repeated theme described by her colleagues, she is someone who constantly puts others first. Her generosity and spirit have left a lasting mark on this school and everyone fortunate to know her. Linda, thank you for your 25 years of dedication, leadership, compassion, and service to the Newmarket community. Your legacy lives on with thousands of students you've taught, and the colleagues you've inspired, and the countless lives you've touched. On behalf of us, congratulations on your retirement. We wish you many adventures ahead, in time with family and friends, lots of plants and animals to care for, and every happiness in the next chapter. Thank you very much.
It's supposed to be more dramatic.
If I could just add, one of the first people I met when I came to Newmarket 4 years ago, Linda reached out to me because she had been involved in the union and knew that the contract was fairly complicated. And she reached out right away to offer support and guidance. And she and I met within, I think, a week or so of my taking the job. And she brought me a lovely plant. I'm not a plant guy, so I can't speak to what kind it is, but it still thrives in the office. So thank you very much.
All right. Next up, Mr. Pine.
Evening. My retirees have probably heard these words spoken earlier last week at the retirement party at the school today. Okay, these fine individuals. But the first one I would like to talk about is Lori Carmichael. Lori has served the Newmarket School District for 34 years. Lori is part of the community of Newmarket. It's difficult to fully capture the impact Lori has made over the many years of her career at Newmarket Elementary School because her influence extends far beyond speech and language services. Lori has been a teacher, a mentor, advocate, problem solver, leader, and trusted friend to so many of us. As a speech pathologist, Lori possesses an incredible depth of knowledge, expertise, especially in supporting preschoolers and students with complex communication needs. Through play-based therapy, evidence-based intervention, and her remarkable ability to connect with children, she has helped countless students find their voices. Lori has always understood that communication is more than words. It is a connection, confidence, belonging, and self-expression. Her work with AAC devices and assisted communication tools has been transformative. Lori has opened the door for students who may otherwise have struggled to be heard. Because of her work, students were not only able to communicate their needs and ideas, but also become recognized as valued, active members of their learning community. Lori has played a major role in the development of our PowerLink program, a program that highlighted individual education for nonverbal students with multiple handicaps. Through sensory exploration, therapeutic support, and accessible communication opportunity, Lori has helped create a highly inclusive programming that changed lives. But beyond her professional expertise, what truly sets Lori apart is who she is as a person. Lori has the incredible gift for organization and clarity. In the most complex situation, she always manages to guide teams back to the heart of the matter. What do we want to accomplish here for the student? From there, she helps everyone work collaboratively toward a meaningful solution. She is also one of the best communicators many of us has ever known. Staff members regularly sought Lori out when facing difficult conversations with colleagues, administrators. There's no difficult administrative conversations, parents or students. Lori has a calming, thoughtful way of helping people navigate challenging professional challenges professionally and compassionately. In stressful moments, she has reminded us what truly matters and what we need to do to let go. Within the related services team and throughout the school, Lori has affectionately earned the title of our Yoda. Her wisdom, leadership, calm presence, and unwavering focus on students have shaped all of us for the better. Lori's commitment to the district is especially meaningful because Newmarket is not just where she works, it is her home. As a lifelong Newmarket resident, she has dedicated a career to serving students and families of this community with compassion, professionalism, and heart. Lori, thank you for your wisdom, your leadership, and your patience, your humor, and your unwavering belief in students and teams. Thank you for teaching us not only how to support children with complex needs, but also how to support one another. You have made the Newmarket a better place you have made Newmarket a better place simply by being here. Congratulations on your retirement. It is so well deserved. We wish you joy, relaxation, and adventure, and all the happiness that this next chapter brings. Again, thank you, Lord.
And while before we move on to our last person, I did want to comment. One of the things that stood out in my mind about Lori over the years is getting good quality speech language pathologists is challenging. They're not out there, and we've had a number of times when we've had to hire somebody that was inexperienced and required mentoring. And I can't tell you how often Lori has been the first person to say, "Yeah, whatever you need," and she has been there every time. And I just can't say how much I appreciate that, Lori.
We're here to acknowledge someone who has made an extraordinary impact in the lives of thousands of children's families, colleagues, and our entire Newmarket elementary school community, Nancy Miller. Over the course of 29 years, Nancy has worked with more than 11,000 students. Just saying that number out loud is incredible. But what makes Nancy truly special is that every one of those students mattered to her. She didn't just teach physical education. She taught confidence, perseverance, teamwork, kindness, and joy. Nancy brought energy and creativity into everything she did, from hot shot jump rope to unforgettable big jump rope shows cross country, first tee, golf, swimming lessons, bicycle riding, gymnastics, bowling, hiking, archery, and PE field trips. She created opportunities for the kids to discover new passions and challenge themselves in ways they never imagined. Spaghetti suppers. Nancy was the driving force behind the beloved annual event, which became the highlight not only for the Newmarket Elementary School community, but for the greater Newmarket community as well. It was common to see former students and their families return year after year to attend. Over the course of Nancy's career, hundreds of pounds of pasta were served and countless cakes were raffled, and the community came together in support of its children. Proceeds from the spaghetti supper helped fund numerous opportunities for students, including PE field trips to Camp Lincoln, Mount Agamenticus, as well as swimming lessons and other enriching experiences. Through her dedication and tireless effort, Nancy transformed a simple community dinner into a cherished tradition and benefited generations of students and families. And of course, we can't forget Field Day. No one did Field Day like Nancy. For generations of Newmarket students, sure you guys can attest, it became one of the most exciting days of the school year because of her enthusiasm, organization, and an ability to make every child feel included and celebrated. Nancy has always believed that physical fitness should be accessible to every child. She approached her work with compassion, creativity, and determination, constantly finding adapted tools and out-of-the-box modifications so all students could participate and succeed. Programs like PE Preview and her OTPE classes reflected her deep commitment to make every child feel capable and valued. She also opened her classroom in part to countless UNH interns and practicum students, mentoring the next generation of educators with the same patience and positivity she shows her students every day. And who can forget Mr. Bones and Mr. Muscle on the walls of our gym? Nancy has a gift for making learning memorable, engaging, and fun. Her positivity is contagious. Her connections with students are genuine. Kids knew they were cared for the moment they walked into her gym. But Nancy's dedication didn't stop at the school doors. She always encouraged students to stay active outside of school hours, and she generously donates her time supporting veterans in our community as well. That spirit of service says everything about who she is. Nancy, your impact cannot be measured simply in years or numbers. It's in the lives. It lives in the confidence of nervous students who learn to believe in themselves. It lives in the memories of jump rope performances, races, field days, and laughter echoing through the gym. It lives in the colleagues you inspired and in the community that you helped strengthen. Thank you for your 29 remarkable years of passion, dedication, and love for kids. Newmarket Elementary School is a better place because of you, and your legacy will continue for generations. Congratulations, Nancy, on the retirement. We wish you endless joy, adventure, and relaxation, and all the happiness that you so richly deserve. Again, thank you, Nancy.
Nancy, I will say, as a homeowner who lives near the school, I can't tell you how often in the spring I've been going. Yeah, I was going to say, Nancy, I can't tell you how much as a homeowner near the school, I enjoy in the spring having the windows open and hearing you somehow managing a herd of people out there, tromping and laughing and giggling. It's always been a joy. You've done an amazing job.
Why don't you use this one? Some reason you're
Yeah,
approaching that
that's
mic
me,
is scaring it. Well, I did want to just comment, back in March, it's a reporter for are we good? Back in March, a reporter for the New Hampshire Fair Funding Project came to visit us, and they were doing a tour of the schools, and they happened to be coming to the elementary school, and just at random, they happened to bump into Nancy passing through. She'd just come in off the field on a snowshoeing expedition, and just asked her a couple of questions, and that ended up being the whole theme of the article, just the two things she said. And the article really was about what makes Newmarket special is the commitment to community and excellence. And there's a great article in New Hampshire Magazine about the town talking about what makes Newmarket special. And it is very much, it's that community commitment and people who come here and stay for long periods of time. And so Nancy, I think you've proven that. And I just thought it was perfect to have you pass it that one moment, and that became the theme of the article. It was wonderful. Exactly.
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to thank everyone for your time and service. And Mrs. Miller, I don't think it was an accident that you were bumped into. I feel like you are everywhere. Like I just, whenever I am out in the community, you are there and working with kids or setting something up for kids. And thank you so much. You made all the difference for every children.
So Todd stole my thunder because I was going to go with the
Oh.
community line.
Sorry.
First, before that, I found it interesting that both Dr. Foreman and Mr. Pine mentioned relaxation, and upon hearing the words that they were saying, it didn't seem to me that Linda, Lori, or Nancy really plans to do a lot of relaxing, or that you are the relaxing type of people. So you deserve it, but if you choose to not relax, I think that's fine too. But before Todd stole my thunder, I had been thinking about community since the last jump rope show. And I think against her will, people wanted Nancy to give a speech. And one of the first things she said is Newmarket is not like anyplace else. And I think that that's true as a town, but I also believe that that's the community within our schools. It was very heartwarming to hear some of the top 10 graduates of the high school 2 weeks ago talking about their experiences and being emotional about their experiences. And the one thing that they all talked about was being part of the Newmarket community and the teachers that got them to where they were. And just feeling that had they not had the support of the teachers in this educational community, maybe we wouldn't be where they were. So they are incredibly grateful. We are incredibly grateful as an educator. I'm so grateful as a parent that my children have this experience in our school, and as a member of the board, my gratitude truly is endless. And should you choose to relax, you deserve all of it. You deserve to take the time, but please don't be strangers, because there are so many students and members of the community, soon to be alum, who would desperately miss you if they we can see everyone's in the lab. Thank you.
Let's hear one last.
No, I'm getting shaky. All right. We're gonna move on to board comment. Any other things? Oh, nope,
No, interesting that.
never mind. We're gonna allow the next special retiree to give his last and final student representative report. Mr. Sawyer Hill.
Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to be a tough act to follow up on. Before I get into my usual spiel, I just want to thank each and every one of you for making my experience one that I'll never forget. I came into this not really knowing how properly speaking and having this experience of growing. Happy every other Thursday. Or happy Tuesday house. I've really enjoyed my life. So before I start to get emotional, I start talking about sports. So softball, they ended their regular season off with a record of 8-8. They had their prelim game yesterday against Epping, where they won. And they have their quarterfinal game June 6th at 2 p.m. today, which is Pittsfield. Baseball finished their season keeping their undefeated record 16-0. They're gonna bye the playoffs. So their first game of the playoffs will be their quarterfinal game June 6th at Acknowledgements, which is still Track just had their state meet last Sunday. For boys, the 4x8 relay placed third with the time of 8:47.79. The boys 4x1 relay placed fourth with the time of 40.
Wasn't someone you know on that 4x8 relay?
Awesome. The 4x4 placed 10th with the time of 3:46.82. Aiden Econom in the 300 hurdles placed fourth with the time of 43.19. Simon Hartshorn in 800 placed 8th with the time of 2:09. Spencer Bozek in 200 placed 9th with the time of 24:02. And Ben Patrick in the 3200s placed 8th with a new school record time of 10:30.52. On the girls' side, the 4x1 placed 9th at the time of 52:33. The girls 4x4 placed 5th at the time of 4:26.79. Magnolia Redmond placed 7th in the 800s with a time of 2:28.72. And Lydia Edgerly placed 9th in the triple jump with a jump of 29 feet and 7 feet. For lacrosse, the boys team finished their regular season 11-4, and their next game is the quarterfinal game June 6th at 7 p.m. at home versus St. Thomas. Girls lacrosse finished their regular season 10-5. And they are currently playing a game that just ended against Canada. It started at 3:30. Hopefully they will. I don't know a ton that's happening in the school, but I can speak to you about what's happening in my life as a senior. So every morning at 7:45, basically like we're going right to school. We have graduation practice. We're there for an hour every day. We got it down that day. On Monday, we have senior school night where each and every senior athlete was recognized for their contribution that they made throughout their 4 years as an athlete. On Tuesday, we had senior banquet at 1 p.m. with Bob and Nico. There, we got a really excited. We ate delicious pizza made by Officer McFadden and watched the NBA fight for that. Yesterday, we had our senior outing with Pastor Palmer. There, we had one time at the beach, and it was catered by Lots, which was, in my opinion, an amazing choice. And then we also had Miss Faljan make us some very, very good cookie dough and Oreo cupcakes. So thank you to Miss Faljan for watching. And then we finish off the night with our senior sunset at Northampton State Beach, where we took pictures and then got ice cream at the beach. Tonight, so I was saying earlier, we have the award tonight at 6 p.m. That's here in the gym. And then tomorrow is the graduation ceremony. After graduation, this is project grad. Hopefully it's fun. Hopefully. Before I introduce Maddie, I'd like to thank hopefully you're watching Miss Cole. Miss Cole is helping make the agenda for these meetings for almost every single meeting. I'm in there every day. After I wasn't there every day at the end of the day. She would run through it. So thank you, Miss Cole, for helping me out with that. So without further ado, Madeline Barr is an exemplary student leader, artist, and a dedicated community servant who consistently works to enrich both her school and the local Seacoast. Demonstrating exceptional academic leadership, Madeline serves as the president of the National English Honor Society and is an active member of both the National Honor Society and the Tri-M Music. Highlighting her leadership capabilities, she was selected from a highly competitive pool of applicants to attend the prestigious Teen Women Leadership Workshop this past week. Her peers have also impressed her with significant student government, electing her as the president of the class of 2027 and selecting her to lead as the co-coordinator of prom. Deeply invested in the school's cultural life, Madeline brings her artistic vision to the stage as a student choreographer for the drama club, and she is incredibly excited for the opportunity to represent the arts program. Her passion for mentorship and creative movement extends well beyond the school campus. She shares her skills with younger generations as a preschool dance teacher and a summer camp counselor, grades K through 2 at the Newmarket. Additionally, she serves for vulnerable populations of therapy at Seacoast Eastern Therapy. Madeline also pursues high-level athletic and artistic excellence outside of school parameters as a member of a competitive dance team, BIDC. Through her diverse achievements, Madeline represents the very best of student leadership and citizenship.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Before you turn over the ropes though, Sawyer, I'm gonna say thank you. You don't give yourself enough credit because you have been phenomenal since day one, and it has been a joy to see you become more and more comfortable. Um, that's not why I give you a hard time. It has also an enjoyable part of it.
Part of a strategy.
You've made me feel as if I am approachable in this role where sometimes I think we struggle to feel like we are working with people and with students rather than just kind of sitting behind this awkward table. But you've always presented with poise and clarity and really rounded out what the information that we hear, the updates with, including so many different parts um, of the high school community, even parts that you seek out the information of things that you might not be involved in. And you are also incredibly humble. So I'm really glad that Todd pointed out your success as well, because uh, you've done a wonderful job. We're so excited for you. University of Maryland is very, very lucky to have you. And for those people watching, I'm going to embarrass him one last time saying that at the award ceremony, Sawyer was commenting on scholarships he applied for and saying, "Oh, I just, I hope maybe, I could be considered for one." And in my head, I'm thinking, of course, you should get something. So, thank you, and we wish you the best. And Maddie, you have big shoes to fill, but you will make it your own, just as Sawyer has. So, thank you.
If I could also.
Sure.
Okay, let me try this one because I want to hurt me. I did one thing really brought to the board this year has been to bring in. And it countless times we brought in solves, different leadership groups, different net zero, to come and just talk to the board. And that really is what we get to see, we get to hear from kids. I love the fact, Maddie, you are involved in the arts program. I'd love to hear from people in the arts program, bringing that voice forward. All of those things really matter. I think the way people do this, we're not just representing people that are your friend circle. You really actively said, "Well, I'm representing the school.
say policy nerdiness, I would say your appreciation for policy. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I just want to say that it's been a pleasure getting to know you, Sawyer, and getting to know the high school because being a semi-new resident of Newmarket and a retired teacher, I have found the year and a half that I've been on the board that Newmarket is remarkable. And everything that you have brought to us, the students coming, the reports that you give, I just go home and tell my husband, I said, wow, you made a good decision when you wanted to move here. Because it wasn't exactly something I had in my mind to do. So, and you've made me feel part of the community. And I'll steal a little bit of Todd's thunder and tell you about the policies when it's that time you're still here because you've made me feel very important in that respect. But thank you very much and good luck to you. And I hope that you do pursue a career in I don't want to say politics, but civic engagement because you're an excellent model and we need young people like you taking over the reins for us. Thank you.
It is not more seltzer, but thank you.
Can you take a picture?
Yeah, I need to get my concords. Well, we're not. Yeah.
Oh, jeepers. I shouldn't have said anything.
Okay, fine.
Trying to come up with-
Recess ending at 5:07. Gary keeps me. Okay. Well, hard act to follow that.
And also welcome to Maddie. Thank you. We're excited to have you.
That's right. Welcome, Maddie.
You want to add?
Thank you guys for being.
We had a policy meeting and the chair and the vice chair were both there. Pretty much we'll be going through some of the second reads of policies and voting.
Yeah, the only other thing I'm going to say was I think it's too, right? Because it sounds like he reviewed a lot of these policies to see if they were impacted. What did he say? 35
35,
policies
yeah.
to help us identify the ones that needed updating. So,
Mhm.
I just want to remind the board that July 3rd at 4 PM is the New Hampshire School Board Association deadline for any new resolutions, and I've asked the chair to put it formally on the agenda for the next meeting.
And so for a board comment, just so that I can let Sawyer go in in fine fashion. After much drama in the State House of the open enrollment bill, today it was tabled in the Senate, which means that it's dead for the year. However, it will come back in different forms. It already took about 3 amendments, different amendments that, they tried to get it through. They took Democrats off the committee of conference and put Republicans on, so they'd have a meeting after meeting and approve the amendment. And, so, right now, we don't have a whole lot of policy to go through because if it had passed, the last amendment, would have made open enrollment effective July 1st, 2026. That would have been in 28 days or however days it was. So luckily, we have enough time to breathe. The other one, Todd's got down here too, that I'll steal his thunder, is HB 1300, which is the tax cap. The statewide mandate for a school and municipal tax cap. That one did pass today. So either the governor will sign it or veto it, depending on how precious she gets. And there was also one that's kind of related, not, but a last minute campus carry bill came up just last week, which was pretty wide open, and that one was tabled as well. So that's plus there was a whole lot of other stuff. You don't want to. So that's my policy big. And good luck to you. That's great. You can put that on your dorm door or your apartment or whatever.
Thank you, Sawyer.
Thank you. Bye, Maddie. Have a great summer. Bye-bye.
Okay, I wanted to start, I actually mentioned it when I was stealing Lonnie's thunder. Apologies for the stealing of thunder, but it was on my mind. The article that was in the New Hampshire magazine about the town of Newmarket. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's a really remarkable article. It's not focused on the school, but the theme of community and all of that stuff comes up loud and clear. And I do think if you go back to the article from the New Hampshire Fair Funding Project about the schools, and then you take a look at the New Hampshire magazine article and you read them sort of side by side, you say, wow, that is a lovely, lovely community. I want to live there. Which I think it really speaks well to the community. So I just wanted to mention that. And for board members, I did link the article in my comments if you want to check it out. Second thing I did want to mention, it actually kind of ties into one of the themes we talked about with our retirees. I had the honor and privilege of going to a luncheon with the top 10 last week. And we survived a little bit of a rainstorm and it was, it ended up being sunny. So we got good pictures afterwards. But we were sitting, having our lunch and I asked the kids, I've always wanted, how many of you were in the Newmarket School kindergarten? All but one raised their hand. And the one girl who did raise her hand kind of did this. And I said, what's that mean? She goes, I came in first grade. So, it really, it added a sense of pride in the fact that these are honest products of the Newmarket school system. I think that speaks to the experience kids have for all 13 years of their time. And like as Lonnie said, when the top 10 were here, the ones that spoke, all of them spoke of just the impactful community and the future we have along the way, and not just about high school at all. That's pretty cool. Speaking of graduations, Lonnie and I went to the SST graduation last Thursday, I believe it was. If you ever get a chance to go, it's a lovely ceremony to go to. But it's all the kids that do the second year of the SST program over there from Newmarket. There's 20, 22 kids from Newmarket there. Handful of kids that received honors, which was nice to see. But most importantly, it's just the kids that are at SST are really passionately engaged in what they're doing, and I just think that's really, really fun to see. again, tapping into the theme of graduation, one of the things I want to give a shout out to Dave Riley and facilities staff. They have, since April vacation, been really aggressively tackling multiple projects with the idea of trying to make sure when graduation happens tomorrow night, our schools put our best foot forward. So you'll notice all the new mulch and the freshly mowed lawns, the clean floors. They've been scraping gum off the bottom of chairs. They've redone. I mean, they really have taken making these schools shine very seriously. And I just want to, it's one of those things that people will maybe not notice, but I do. And I think this speaks to, I mean, Dave regularly kind of very humble guy, regularly, says, like, hey, my job is to make sure nobody notices me, that kind of thing. But I tell you that it's really special, the level of commitment he and his team have. Thank you. I'm not going to go into a great deal of detail on the two bills. Number one, because open enrollment seems to have died for this term, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. One of my pet worries for quite some time now. So I just had a let go of significant amount of anxiety there, which is good. I do still want to just mention the HB 1300, which is the tax cap bill, which does look like it's going to get to the governor's desk. If that does get signed into law, it does mean this November we will have to have a tax cap vote in Newmarket. And obviously, it's a choice for the community. We'll have to do some educating, but just to give people an understanding of what it would mean in our current budget. If the tax cap that they're proposing had been in effect in the current budget we're in, we would have had to cut about $400,000 out of our current operating budget. And we remember how tight things were. So that would have been a reality. And the other piece of it, which is frustratingly ambiguous, because this is sort of the strategy of some of these laws, is they are putting a cap on what they call administrative costs at 6%. But they don't do a very good job of defining that, other than it's not teachers and classroom stuff. So in the Newmarket budget, we have, for example, contracted services for our custodians. Is that an administrative cost under this law? We pay a contracted service for buses. That's in the district's budget. Is that an administrative cost? If we were forced to only have 6%, we would have had to cut, say the current SAU budget is about 2.1 million. It would have to be 1.4 million to match that. So my point is, it would be quite restrictive to us if that were the case. And I would be very concerned about it. So I just want to keep that out there. If it does pass, we will definitely need to do our homework and just do educating of our community to help people understand. And by the way, it also means even if you have to do it in 2028 as well, and vote in 2026, no matter what happens. And something we so anyway, last thing I wanted to mention, you may have seen, in fact, I suspect when Patty does data presentations later on, this will come up. But I did want to mention this because it was in the news. There was an article in Foster's probably 10 days ago talking about a study called the Education Scorecard. And basically, it was a 10-year study tracking student growth and development over the last 10 years. And the gist of it is nationally, kids are about one full grade level behind where they were attending. That's the gist of the article or the study, which is absolutely true. I have linked for you in my comments, though, the document that shows Newmarket. And again, Newmarket is not one of the things that happens is people draw these big brush strokes and say, "Oh my goodness, everybody's public education is not working." Newmarket is bucking the trend wholeheartedly. The article that was in Foster's highlighted Dover, and Dover is also bucking the trend, by the way. But they're a lot bigger than us, so they get more attention. But we're bucking the trend far more than they are. I just want to say that. So in the last 3 years in particular, our students are averaging scoring 0.78 grade levels above grade level. And in the last 3 years, we have gone up 0.37 grade levels per year in the trend. The article you can see, the trend is up. That's what's happening. So I just want to say, don't always assume national trends apply locally.
in this case, I think we're doing the right thing. I just want to highlight that for you and the community and I think it's up to you. And that, oh, safety.
I just want to add one more thing. I put, I saw the Vernon Family Farm post yesterday about the seniors going there, and I shared it on the community chat. A lot of people, I think about 60 or 70 people liked it, so it kind of gave a nice little boost to the seniors as well as the farm. And it was, everybody said it was great. What a great idea for a senior trip. So people like that.
Thank you for including those links in there. Those are the things that I often think out into. The community more aware. People have something over. And as this tea graduation, I have to say that that was something great experience to the lots of local kids, speaking kids, but in other ways, actually, another great different avenue. Right. So next up we have update from Mr. Pine and the top Pine and Patty Long about the report card and the master schedule in no particular order. Exciting for elementary school parents. I'm not going to be in elementary school. Thank you.
What are your things that bring it to the children and helping raisins that are scheduled. So very little wiggle room. I did develop a schedule in which we used to time, but more than next time. So grade levels have the ability to use of other things for their kids. One way that I captured some time for next year is that we have switched our bus route. We used to have a separate run for that bus, just running up there that we dismissed 5 minutes earlier than other buses. That essentially, that 5 minutes essentially like lost time. I really enjoy saying 5 minutes, whether fortunately we go to worked with the bus company, we're able to figure out a way in which we could actually put the kids on a rec bus that would just continue on and do the regular rides next year. So that is one area we picked up a little bit of time. The other thing that we did as well is we're going to kind of bump our start time. We've been noticing our buses have been very efficient in getting there 5-6 minutes before what we anticipated last year. And so we picked up another 5 to 6 minutes in the morning as well. So we're looking about an additional 10 minutes of time. The things that are really the challenge still though is that when you take the fact that we do effective literacy program, we're looking at around 90 minutes of instruction for kids. That's including the tier 1 and tier 2 instruction. Same with mathematics. We have an hour for lunch and recess. 30 minutes set aside for morning meeting, and they started a new program called the Fourier class to build it as well. Richard, the program is designed to build community within the building, but also set like the basic ground rules for the building for everyone to follow. That's like local fees and the school will follow. It's something that the teachers are really looking forward to having and instituting it. But then you throw in a 45-minute unified arts class it really doesn't leave much in the rest of the day for science, social studies. We know that we need to get the kids outside a little more and experience the outdoors. That's another big one. Then you got to count in those transition times that you'll see that documents before lunch or after lunch. The kids that get boots on during the winter and that sort of thing. So time is really tight. One of the things that I think that we may need to take a look at in the following year, 27, 28, is looking at possibly extending the length of the school day in more significant way. 15 minutes to 30 minutes. It's something that we'll take a look at with the public recommendation to the board that would be most beneficial. So we can really continue to offer enriching education for our kids, but also do it on a pace that really with the rest of the early students, also with the students. Kind of the broad overview of our study.
If I could just add to, Sean is a very, very creative scheduler, and I think pretty much anything we can do with the existing time span we're using as efficiently as possible. I do think, as Sean points out, one of the next layers of conversation we need to have is how do we create more time in the day? We can't create more time without having more. So I think it's a conversation. It's a complicated conversation. I want to be clear. It's not like, gee, let's just do it. There's contractual issues. There's bus schedule issues. There's how does this impact the secondary schools? You know, how does all this fit together? But I think it's something we need to start having some conversation about, because, like I said, where the trend that I just described is up, we want to keep it going that way. And this is one of those things that I think we've got definitely.
And we will do the schedule and go through the stuff that we have and there are ways that
If you could just also, the teachers are very much on board with this. This is not a,
yeah,
this is a
that's
them
one
thing.
thing that one of the conversations we have a teacher leader group that I meet with, one of the conversations that we've been having lately is that the fact that we have such a demanding day, there is really not that time in which we can get everyone back to do that kind of more fun, interactive science work or social studies. Or just if there's a special project that we like to do, it's really tight. I'm lucky I could build in a half hour, 40 minutes into the schedule, and that's only for some grades. You know, when we're talking early literacy programming, we 95% do, and then we have the by tier one for 2 times. So really, it's important to focus that energy on that, but at the same time, it doesn't give us the feeling that we need to also focus on those important subjects and such things. So it's really strong. Yeah, those conversations are taking place, and we talk about how we can work around other ideas.
Actually, have a white section here, is that with that's for the
Done
free
right
time,
there, that's 3 blocks, each block is 5.
not free time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's
The-
unscheduled.
the unscheduled.
Correct.
Instruction time. And just because we have a family Zoom call every Wednesday, and 2 of us were teachers, and we were talking about cursive writing the day.
Right,
Is that in with the literacy?
that is part of the literacy program starting at 3rd grade.
Good. Thank you.
On the other hand, no.
That's
Great.
But we were joking around, and I know this is off the top of the schedule, but now we've lost. Since Nancy Miller, you firing, we don't hire Nancy Miller run two anymore. So it's just gonna be Nancy Miller, and it's gonna be a big transition for her.
We really do. And I have to say, even educator parent, it's very different to see it on paper. Really easy. Like, oh, we need to get this. Oh, we need to make sure kids are learning about this. It's I can barely read it. Right.
Yeah.
That's with glasses on because there's clearly so much thought. Thinking already.
And you kind of, you know, obviously younger people, they're really focus. Small. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's rare for people to say we want to work more. So for you and your staff to say that.
I think it'd be something that.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
And stay up there. Okay, so good evening. Everyone. Forgive me, but I am going to use my notes because I feel like I don't want to miss anything in case we time. So I'm here to, or Sean and I are here to update our report card committee. I remember last fall, maybe sharing with you that we had formed a committee. We met a few times over the summer and into the fall, recognizing that current way that we report out student growth in all areas wasn't matching the programs that we were delivering. We started with math in a couple of years, well, for year 5 of implementing bridges, but you know, Sean was just stapling and the teachers were attaching, and we kept attaching and attaching more sheets to the report card. That became very overwhelming for families. And then with the onset of our new literacy program, we really pushed us to, we really need to develop a committee and to determine a new reporting system. We sent a survey out to our families. We received about 25% of feedback from our families from the survey. It was pretty overwhelmingly glowing in terms of they appreciated the clarity, the condensed version of the report, and so that it was easier for our families to understand, and it was reader friendly as well. So taking that information, the teachers at NES are also working with a consultant, John Vanderels, and he's been doing a lot of work with the teachers in forming professional learning communities. We call them PLCs. And at the elementary school, they're typically by grade level, the professional learning communities. And in those communities, they have norms. They'll talk about student work, talk about programming, they'll look at data, they'll talk about grouping students for interventions, whether that's for enrichment or interventions. Also, John was asking teachers to identify priority standards within reading communities. So that led to lots of discussions. And then as a result of all of those discussions, it was starting to impact where we were headed with the report card committee. So we had to put a pause on the report card committee so that our teachers could work in the 26-27 school year in writing competencies for each of their content area with then the identified priority standards, and that leads to learning progressions, and then ultimately what we call I can statements, so that all learning is visible for our students and our families. That's a lot of work. John Vanderels will continue in the capacity of working with our teachers to strengthen their PLCs, continue to analyze student data, identify that tier 2 instructional needs, while also he's going to partner with his colleagues from New Hampshire Learning Initiative. I'm going to share with you 2 names, and Ellen Hume Howard, she's the director of NHLI, and Kathy White is another colleague. And they're going to support John, the 3 of them, in this development of a new progress report for NES. Ellen and Kathy from NHLI, they've been working this past school year with all grades 6 to 12 teachers here in this building, the junior senior high, on that work of identifying competencies, learning progressions, priority standards, learning progressions, I can statements. You know, we need to make our teaching and learning visible to our students in grade 12. I'm so excited to upload over summer our website. When you see these documents, I use the word oh my gosh, they're just, and the teacher and the hard work that our teachers have put in creating these with Ellen and Kathy facilitating the work. You know, I had kind of an aha moment of, we can't just state competencies for grades 6 through 12. It has to be K-12. We are one school district, and we need to, parents and our families need to see that learning progression from K to 12. And that was another reason for that pause on report card committee, because let's do this right. Let's not come back 2 years from now and say, oh, gee, we should have done this, this, and this. And so I am one of those, I don't like to rush, because when products are developed, we want it to be our best work. And I think about as an 8th grade teacher, I never rush my kids through projects. It's best work, you know, and what do we put into that best work? I think of our educator evaluation program was 2.5 years of love, and we're still continuing to refine that, or our literacy committee, you know, was 2 years as well. And so we're not going to rush this work, because for our families and our students, we want to get it right. I do want to share that our district goal is to publish district-wide competencies K-12. So with Ellen's help from NHLI, she will now start to support the NES staff with Jonathan, because the teachers are they love that. He's wonderful. I just wanted to take just a moment to share highlights from, she wrote a research brief, because we're not pulling this out of thin air. We're pulling it from research of what reporting systems look like and are valued by families. And I really hope that I will be demonstrating why we're continuing the development of our reporting system. So we recognize that families want more than a single grade in reading, writing, and math. They want to understand their child's strengths and challenges. Dr. Thomas Gusby, you've heard of him, he's a former professor at University of Kentucky, he is the guru on that research of grading and reporting of students' learning. And he says research does not suggest that families need every individual standard listed on the report card, which is what the old report card looked like. He says it supports the need for clearer and more meaningful information about children's learning. So our NES teachers will engage in the work next school year of developing a reporting system, organizing around 3 to 5 broader competencies in each discipline to provide our families with a clear, manageable summary of their child's learning. The research shows that families value specific information about what their child knows and is able to do. But experts caution that report cards become less useful when they're overloaded with too many individual standards. The strongest reporting system uses the report card as a summary and supports it with ongoing communication throughout the year. So what does that ongoing communication look like? It's our teachers sharing with our families parent brochure, weekly or monthly newsletter, project checklists, rubrics, student work samples, home practice checklists. All of those examples, they help our parents understand grade level expectations. They see the evidence of their child's learning, and that supports their child's next steps. And then this creates a really full picture of learning throughout their year. Rather than asking families to make sense of a report card filled with just 30 teachers, I mean, there are even more for reading, we know that. So our goal is to build a family-friendly reporting system that communicates learning clearly, consistently, and with evidence. So that's where we're headed.
And to just be clear, the work that's been done so far, we're gonna
We're
continue to use,
capitalizing on the work that's
we're gonna
already done.
continue with the
Absolutely.
piloted so we're not going back.
No, we're not going back because
Sticking with what we provide,
right.
and then they're gonna make improvements.
And the teachers have been identifying priority standards. And so we're not starting from scratch, because they've already done a lot of the heavy lift and the heavy work. But it's also really than just one committee. The way that Ellen and Kathy and John work is it's more inclusive of, we're going to meet with just grade 2. We're going to talk about grade 2 reporting. We're going to meet with just grade 3 so that they really get a sense and of that support.
That's part of it. So the work that has been done is fantastic. However, we want to make sure that we bring you a pilot product. It's a pilot product, definitely. You always want to be reporting 6:30. This started this year. very high rate, standards, quality, everything. That is great.
Just to complete my fiscal biography. I actually taught John's 3 kids. He came to our school and I think brought our administration with competency to like slowly bought in and so I think so.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And it's a process.
It is. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. Thank you.
I think we will go to the policy. Policy. School credit district credit card.
If you want, we can do them all three together because they kind of go in the same bucket. In fact, Liz already kind of highlighted the fact that the focus of our policy meeting last time mostly was on financial policy. And when we do, every year we have an audit, and every year the auditors give us recommendations for policies and so forth. And you need to review your policies regularly. Bryant has done a tremendous job reviewing all 35 of the financial policies. The 3 that are in front of you tonight are the ones that are recommended for change. I will be very simple with you. They're minor changes. The EJD, if you open that one up, really it's cleaning up the language of who gets to be in control of the credit card. Because it's a matter of practicality. The truth of the matter is Ellen Needham largely manages the district credit card. So under the previous language, there was no place for her to be able to do that. So the designee, so that's why that's there. Just to be clear though, we are very meticulous about the use of the credit card. We don't hand it out to people to do things. We're very careful that all of the purchasing procedures that are required of everything, doesn't matter if you use a credit card or not, you follow the procedures. So I just want to be clear about that. So this is just simply a recommendation to change language. So that's DJB. DJE, if you want to just jump ahead to that one. Again, it's relatively minor changes. DJE, the change is the level to which we would have to put it out to bid. As you can imagine, everything's more expensive now, and this is actually recommended from the state to increase it from 10 to 15. So we're just simply upping the level to which we put things out to bid. So 15,000 will become the baseline for putting things out to bid. Doesn't mean, by the way, if it's less than 15,000, we're not trying to find the best price and look for competitive deals. But this is going to sound trite, but $15,000 doesn't get you very far anymore. So so 15,000 is the new recommended amount. And then the last one, EFFA, it's to do with school meal charges. And really the change there is just cleaning it up. One of the things that happens, as you can imagine, mostly at the elementary school, kids come in with like an envelope or something that has money or a check or something in it. And they might hand it to their teacher or whatever, and the teacher puts it in the desk, and then it might get shuffled, and it doesn't necessarily get to the place it needs to go. We're trying to tighten the language up so that the person who ultimately receives the money is basically the cashier in the cafeteria. So there's not an in-between person. So we make sure that the money goes to that person. By the way, it does not mean that the kindergarten teacher can't still facilitate and say, okay, Susie, give me your envelope. Let's go to the cafeteria. And the idea is the person who's receiving it for the district is the cashier, and that's the only change. Yeah, so I do not, we, as you recall, we've had a lot of conversation about the MOU, and we did run it by council. And after a lot of back and forth with me and Chief Jordan and council, they said, you know what, let's just start over again. So what you have in front of you is the document is an entirely new version that we have developed. Chief Jordan and I have gone through it, and it matches current practice. For those of you at home, former Chair Dan Smith just waved to us.
Kind of waving.
I'm gonna turn it- Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that this policy, it really matches current practice and our current structure. So what I've asked is Chief Jordan is going to come to our next meeting on the 18th, and so he and I can present it to you and answer your questions. So I give it to you now so you can read it and study up on it, and then when we come back to the 18th.
And I've asked that the board members, be done. And, next up is related to, things that can be exactly your place, maybe office center.
Which requires the board to sign on behalf of the board.
So, in your action items, office. That, the board office. Sign here at the office.
Do we want to back up in the agenda for just a moment and look back at item work for new hires? It said new hires that you're. Why? Oh, I think it got put in place. Okay. Good catch.
Also, in this audit letter, is there anything in particular that we should be looking at? I was reading it this morning and I was looking for specific things.
Really, it's just the agreement with the accounting firm that's going to come in August and do the audit. So it's basically
Just
just,
kind of like a general.
it's just basically contracting with them to come and do it. It's the same firm that we've had for the last couple of years. I'll have to double check the policy. But I believe it's every 5 years we're supposed to have a different audit firm involved.
And school events. We have graduation tomorrow evening. I'm gonna make sure to hang up my robe down so that I can have my books. Field day, June 8th, and the weather has drastically improved, I might add, for field day. So the theme is a New England, truly New England field day, I believe. PTA meeting, that next Tuesday at 6:30 at the elementary school library. June 15th is the 5th grade celebration for our graduating 5th graders moving into middle school at 1:15. And then a reminder to families that June 15th is an early release for the last day of school.
What time would that be? The early release.
11:30 at the junior senior high and 12 o'clock.
Any events? Yeah. And as you remember, at the last meeting, we authorized Pod to really hires so that we can make sure that we're getting up applicants that we can do. So we have 5 new hires that we want to acknowledge.
If I could speak to them a little bit. One of the things that has been really standing out in this cycle of hiring is number one, people apply because it's Newmarket. There's a lot of people who are just looking, they want to come to Newmarket. All 5 of the people we're putting before you all have Newmarket connections. Liz Mulvey moved to Newmarket about 5 years ago. She raised her family here. She's a long-term teacher over at Sanborn, worked with NHLI for a couple of years. And she just like, this is such a lovely place. I want to raise my family here and it would be great to teach her. So she's our great science teacher. Alex Cheek is currently been the JV boys basketball coach. He's stepping up to be our varsity boys basketball coach. Maggie Daley-Dolloff, for those of you who don't know, has been a long-term para at the junior senior high with strong Newmarket connections. To me, she's a shining example of when you hire good paras and you give them an opportunity to train themselves. This is an opportunity that presents itself. So hopefully Maggie will be one of many that will find that pipeline as a way to education works. And Maggie's joining us as a science teacher. Ava Toole is joining us as a music teacher. She's another person who just recently moved to Newmarket about a year ago, and I know how lovely it is. And has again decided this is a place she wants to be, but she's coming to us from, she's the floral director at St. Thomas Aquinas High School, and she's coming over to join us for next year, which is wonderful. And then lastly, Krista Critchett. Some of you may recognize the last name. Her dad is the facilities technician at the elementary school, so you might see him around. He's a great guy, Randy. But Krista is coming to us, an experienced educator. She's taught for 6 years, I believe. But she's coming to fill a 1-year position. And so again, Newmarket hires all the way through. And I want to be clear, they're great hires too.
Thank you. I do, when I knew I was getting something, I just gonna back up a little bit on June 10th. The fifth grader will be presenting. I know that last year for science fair. Fifth graders are presenting their projects that they did. And they can, sorry. Did they get the rest in the meeting? What's that? Um, moving on to action item. I will take a motion to approve the meeting minutes from May 25th. Like Barry. I'll second it. Second by Kathy. Any edits?
On page one, my last name is spelled.
Okay.
Just like one. Like that, yours.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And Barry has the manifest.